So, on the agenda today, ladies and gentlemen, we are just going to talk about how you can serve as a leader. One, so being a leader who serves, not a tyrant, not what can I say? Okay, let's put it there, not a dictator. And then also, since we've had international exposure, especially from the US, and then also Ghanaian experience, I believe that you'll be able to draw the missing link, what the US is doing right and what Ghana is also not doing right, or what Ghana is also doing right. So we do compare and then contrast it to see what Ghana can do and what also US can also do. And the last one which we're going to look at is how we can create leaders for tomorrow's Ghana. Yes, because we here and we are all talking about leadership. So how we can create leaders for tomorrow's Ghana. So first and foremost, I think we're going to talk about how you can serve as a leader. So how you can serve as a leader. You just tell us what you can do, the challenges, and then the way forward, so that you can tackle all three topics within the GFA. So I start with the youngest assembly member in Ghana here, since he sits right opposite me. What can we do as leaders, or how can you serve as a leader?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everybody. I'm grateful for this opportunity. In fact, we just closed from Yali. That was Saturday. A week today. It was so amazing, and I will encourage all of us to take the opportunities that the US government is giving us as Africans. And back to your question, it's a nice question. I think that first of all, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to understand how to lead yourself. If you are a young leader, you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead anybody. Leadership begins from yourself. You must first of all be able to lead yourself, and also have the ambition to create that kind of differences within people. If you are a young leader and you can't make impact, or you cannot make people think beyond what they think, you cannot make them dream more. You cannot influence their lives to think positively more than how you have met them. You are not a leader. And also, you should be able to do what we call the servant leadership. I believe so much in servant leadership and critical leadership. By so doing, you must be able to work more with the people. Understand what the people want. What do they need? My community, what do they want? It's not about what I want. Because if it is about what I want, maybe what I want is to go and put up a big building for my mother to please her. But that's not what my community wants. My community wants water, they want road, they want this, they want quality education. So it's about understanding the needs of your people. And after that, you understand the needs of your people, you cannot solve it alone. Don't think that just as you are a leader, you can solve all the problems of your community. No. The people have the best solution to the problems. You are not the one, you don't have the best solution to the problems of your community. If you are an SRC president, don't think you have the best solution to the problems of KMST or University of Univa. No, you don't have. The people have the problem, they know the problem themselves, and they have the best solution. So how do you do that? Work more with them, work in a more consultative way, work more with them. And by so doing, you'll be able to you'll be able to hit on the target. That is all about it. It is not about you, trying to let them know that, oh, I know it, and this is what is good for this community or this society or this group. No. It is about what they need and how they think they can solve it better. So in a way, you are just leading them, or you are just solving them to be able to influence them to solve that particular problem themselves.
So we actually serve by relating with them accordingly, so you can deliver at what they want and not what you want as their leader. Thank you very much. I'll come back to you for the challenges that also this one comes with, but I'll have to go to Debbie and get her views on that as well.
So my view on your question, how can you serve as a leader? So you have to first identify a problem. See, so I'll take my class, for instance, biological sciences 3. When I came in first year, they needed a class rep, and then I told myself that, look, I don't think there'll be anybody else in that class who can be the best class rep other than me, because I see myself as someone that I want to serve them. So if it's my time I want to give out, I don't really mind. And I've learned how to tolerate people, so I feel like it helped me better serve them as a class rep. And it's going on quite well. Yeah, that's my take on that.
Good. That's quite simple and direct, right? Good. Let me check on you as well.
First of all, that's a beautiful question. And you see, first of all, a life is worth nothing except in the impact it has on other lives. So first of all, when you're assuming the position of leadership, the first thing that should be on your mind is service. And your best motivation, I read one book and it was like the best way to motivate someone or to get someone to do something for you is showing them their take in that thing. So first of all, it's beautiful, but it comes with a task. But then, what is your take in it? Your take is that they say service to man. Service to man is service to God. But also, service to man is service to oneself. Because at the end of the day, the experience that you will gain in serving those people, no other person shall have that experience. So, keeping it at the back of your mind that you are serving them or you are serving yourself, at the end of the day, the connections that you're going to build, you're going to be empowered so much that you'll be surprised. So you should get that inner motivation to serve the people. And once your motivation and the mindset is right, you'll be good to go. Thank you.
Okay, so you are actually linked up with what Julius is actually saying, serving the people, what the people actually has in their interests, and then they are taking what you really want to do is what you have to do. Okay, that's also cool. Beautiful lady, you're smiling. Tell us your take on this one as well.
Thank you very much. For me, I think to be a leader, you have to be understanding and you have to be patient at heart. And also, you must know the goal to achieve. Because if there's no goal, I don't think there will be a need for a leader. So as a leader, you should understand the people and be patient at heart. And also know the goal to work towards it. Thank you.
Thank you. So you think that in serving them, you have to target on the goals. Okay, no problem. We'll come back to you and tell us the challenge that comes with it. Sherifa, let me hear from you.
Okay, thank you very much. As a leader, I believe that you have to be open-minded. I want to share this experience. During my exchange year, where I went to a high school, I was a senior, that's for the 4th year. Well, when I talk about open-mindedness, I thought I was open-minded until I was put in an environment where certain things people did were not in conformity to my values, but then I had to accommodate them. For example, you hardly go to SHS in Ghana and see a boy and a girl kissing on the hallway to class. But then you go to the outside world, and then students holding hands, kissing, and you have to be open-minded to their culture. And as a Ghanaian ambassador, I'm representing Ghana. I can't go and say, hey, stop kissing, stop kissing. That is their way of life. So I have to be open-minded and then move with, accept it that this is their culture. So as a leader, you have to be open-minded.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to start with you, sorry, with the challenges as well. In terms of this, you mean that we have to be tolerant, right? We have to actually, tolerate the culture of people, ethnic background of people, the way people reason, and their sense of respondents to questions and answers and probably policies. Okay, I understand. What are the challenges that comes with this? You from a culture or probably a background that this thing is an abomination, if I may say, looking at what you have around your head. Yes, it is really abomination from the say. And seeing that in a different environment, what did they tell you on the other side? That what negativity can it bring in terms of leadership position?
Thank you. As a leader, sometimes you have to learn and unlearn. So being in a new environment, there are certain key things that I got the opportunity to learn. Obviously, doing the kissing, I'm going back there. The kissing was something I wouldn't want to learn. But there were other things that they had there that, like being time consciousness, their time consciousness. So, as a leader, there are negatives, but you have to be principled enough to distinguish between the good and the bad, so that you don't pick the negatives from a different culture. I don't know if I answered.
Okay. So you have to be steadfast, irrespective of the challenge that comes your way. Yes, I believe my listeners actually got you right and they understand. Yes, I go back to Katrina. You talked about serving in a manner being understanding. Do you think that you will have to toe in line with every single thing which your followers, if I must say, tell you? Don't you think sometimes you have to object to stuff they come across with?
Okay, I think to be a leader, it's not in every aspect that you might understand, but the fact that your followers know that you have heard their views, you are listening to them, is even much more encouraging. The reason why you have followers, maybe they have something they want to put across. So as a leader, let's say you are the final say. So if they bring the issues, you just listen to them and you find a nice way of saying, oh, this is going to be costly, so let's do it this way. That is why they've chosen you as a leader.
Okay, so you don't coerce people, you try to find a way to work around it to achieve a common goal. Yes. Thank you very much. Bernard, to you, you also think that the take of your people are what exactly you are supposed to be going by? This is your people's take. They believe they are supposed to go left. Do you think that yes, we are supposed to go left? Because the people are saying we are supposed to go left.
As I initially said, it's about the people. But don't forget that you are also part of the people. And the people have values, as my sister said. So you don't put these values aside. For instance, based on the fundamentals of nature, you cannot put aside the natural law. There are certain things that you just can't allow. So you should first of all identify yourself and know your values. Once you know the values, everything will work around the values in the making of the lives of the people better. So you see, they say leadership is not about the number of books that you read or the number of promises, the number of problems that you are able to identify in your surroundings, but it's about your achievement. So the little that you have within your hands, what have you been able to achieve with it? That we can entrust you with bigger things. If you're able to achieve with the little you've been given, then we know that we can trust you with something bigger.
Right, thank you, Bernard. Debbie, right? You talked about actually identifying the problem. What if what you think is the problem isn't actually the problem of the people? How do you handle it?
So that's why you have to communicate effectively with the people. So you get to know what their problem is. And then you ask them what they think are the possible solutions. So you actually have a conversation. So you as a leader, you have the vision. Yes, there are mission statements and all of that. So based on your mission statements, fine, you've already they have identified the problem alongside with you. So in line with your mission statements, you can work around it and find a solution to it.
Okay, thank you. Julius, I'm sure that you have enormous experience in terms of you being an assembly member, the youngest, if I may say, and as you identified, relating the problem to what the people are also saying, similar to what Bernard was talking about. Do you think that it is the best form of leadership style to emulate that, okay, this is actually what it is, as my people are saying, let me do it for them, even if you know that at the end it will not over well with them?
Yes, thank you very much. That is why you should have a vision. And within 6 months of you being a leader, that is, if it's the 4 years mandate like my own, you should be able to, create that kind of discipline for your people to understand you very well. You go to my community right now, they know the vision I have for the electoral area. They know my value. you know what I accept and what I do not accept. So if you go there, even though I am not there, they know me. You understand? So back to your question. The fact is that this is what the people want, and this is how they want it to be solved. It may not suit your way, and now go back to the drawing table with them. Have that kind of consultative meeting with them. Let them understand the angle you are coming from, and understand the angle they are also coming from, and merge the two. When you're able to merge the two, you have a better and clearer understanding of how to solve the problem. But if you think probably, oh, you've gone to university, you have PhD, you have masters, you have these, you have gone to the US, you have gone to the UK, so this is the way I want this problem to be solved. If you don't take it, they will sabotage it. For example, let me tell you, they may be a community that needs water, and you have identified the issue of water in that particular community. You can go and cite that project there, but if you don't take it, the people will not drink the water. Why? Because they don't understand the value for the water. For all you know, in that particular community, if you put up a project and toilet facility is in it, their belief is that the toilet is contaminating the water. Are you getting the point? So they will not patronize the water. For all you know, in that particular community, because of the sustainability, you can implement the project, but at the end of the day, when the project develops a fault, they will call you back to come and fix it. It's because you have not involved them. So my community is all about the people. Okay. I involve them in everything I do, and I think it is perfect.
Right, that's fine. In the next discussion, in which you're probably going to sum up the two and make it one, talking about how we can probably create leaders for tomorrow's Ghana, and then also doing a comparative analysis with the current leaders in which we have in Ghana, or the leaders we've had so far, and then the leadership style in the United States of America, in which we say they are actually the pace setters in terms of democracy. So I will let my panel members have their take on it, since they've all had a training also from US embassy and then the US funded project and training, so that they will be able to establish the missing link between Ghana and then America as it is now. So we know where we are going wrong, what we've done right, and what we are supposed to also do going forward. And this time around, I think I may probably pick and then choose, yes, so I can point to at any point in time and then we move on from there. I could see Bernard actually writing a lot there, so I will probably start with Bernard. So you can tell us what Ghana is doing wrong, that we are unable to get our leadership concept right, and what we are supposed to do going forward. That's the microphone, sir.
What Ghana is doing wrong. I believe that let me begin with a comparative analysis. Comparing the two countries will be very difficult, because like the differences underlining the historical background of both countries do not correlate very much. And you for instance, they are doing the federal system. They have states, and these states are individually working towards the betterment of the people, with the federal government also trying to do its own thing. So, and you look at Ghana, for instance, we are dealing with the republic unitary system. So, for instance, a state's law may be conflicting with that of the nation. But with Ghana, once the parliament passes it, it's going on straightforward. So I'm finding it difficult personally comparing to, because our systems are very different. But I think the most important thing, putting aside all these differences, is patriotism. One thing that I realized about Americans is their patriotism. So for instance, you see America is made up of diverse cultures, a lot of immigrants. But even these immigrants, once they come, they forget wherever they came from, and they begin to focus on the American dream. And this got me thinking, because initially my dream as a person was to just get one of these scholarships, then go abroad, then that's all. If I come to Ghana, maybe I visit. But I thought about it and I was like, so if every Ghanaian is thinking this way, then where does Ghana's future lie? So it's about the people, sensitizing the people to have that love for Ghana. I think there should be something called the Ghanaian dream, that we all, it should be clearly defined, and we all should be working towards that dream for the betterment of Ghana.
Alright, thank you. So we think it is patriotism, right? We don't really have much patriotic and nationalistic people in Ghana. That's fine. Then we come to you. What do you think it is the missing link in terms of the leadership structure or the leadership potentials in Ghana and in America, since you have benefit of both?
So the missing link, so I'll go with the comparative analysis. I think there are some really clear-cut differences. So I'd say that Americans are very time-conscious. See, if a program is supposed to begin at 7, it begins at 7. If you are supposed to be at your bus stop at 7:20 and you come there at 7:22, you wouldn't meet the bus, so you'd miss school for that day. And I'd also go to our educational system. When I was there, I found education to be so simple because it was so practical. So I'm a biology student, and when I used to do human anatomy in the United States, it was practical. The lecturer brings a frog to class, yes, we dissect it, she teaches us how to do it. But here in biological science, when we have a practical class, okay, the lecturer comes around to look, but then we are so many, so they are so concerned with us drawing from the slides, from the microscope, draw, then the TOs will mark, and that's all. Then I'll go to sanitation, a very clear-cut difference here. When you go to United States, like, it's so clean. If you are found littering, you'll be fined and you pay for it. But then when you come to Ghana, like, there is litter all around. And I feel like if we are not able to change our mentality on how to keep our environment clean, then this country will be in so much debt as time goes on. And we'll always continue to have floods and other natural disasters occurring. Not because God wants to punish us, but because we are rather causing those punishments on ourselves. And I'll also go to how we relate with people. So in the United States, I think people are so welcoming and friendly. And when I came to Ghana, when we stepped in Ghana from United States after 10 months, like the way the people at the airport were treating us was so bad.
But then we are the best hospitality nation in Africa.
Yes, like in United States, people are smiling and you ask for something and they talk to you in a very nice way. You go to the bank, they talk to you in a nice way. But you come to Ghana, you go to some banks and meet some people and they are so rude.
Right, so now we think that that's great. So our laws have to probably be working, right, to ensure that we cut all the necessary written around, and also the people's mindset must be changed to ensure that our individualism is thrown somewhere and we come together as one people and achieve something together. Petrina, what do you think that Ghana has been doing that is actually making us Ghana as we are 60 years old and making it a bit different from what America does? I said what Debbie has said.
Good or bad?
How you put it?
Thank you. I think I want to talk about a bad aspect. Ghanaians in general, or should I say the government. So actually we have our government finding issues, or we have citizens finding issues concerning the nation. But one thing we lack is finding solutions to them. We can get a citizen, even if we should ask for, and I can get someone who will give you a whole list of issues concerning the nation. But if you ask for a solution, the person has none to offer you. So I think over the past 60 years, it has been the same trend. We have issues we do not have solutions to. So I think it would be best if we find solutions to our issues.
The complaints are a lot.
The complaints are
We talk a lot. And
yes, we talk a lot.
We don't do action.
Yes.
So we believe that we are supposed to inculcate into our spirit the principle of action.
Yes,
and not just
exactly.
Julius, yes, this is what Petrina is saying. Do you think that we are not doing much in terms of action?
Yes, that is very true, but it's also because we don't have a leadership culture. You see, when you go to the US and those developed countries, in fact, the difference between the developing countries and the developed countries is that they have a leadership culture, and that culture has continuously shaped the lives of the people, from the citizenry to the leaders. That is why he was talking about the American dream. And in America, they call it the American dream. In fact, in America, everybody believes that American first. But Ghana, what is our dream? What is our culture? You understand? And because in those countries, for example, let me tell you, their culture, their leadership culture is structured in such a way that it is very inclusive. And it tries to make the citizen create wealth. By so doing, citizens are able to have that kind of impact in solving the problems of their countries. But in Africa, and for that matter, Ghana, because we don't have any leadership culture, there is no sustainability, there is no continuity, and our systems are so extractive to the extent that today I feel like I am PMC. So my party is not in power, so I do not have access to anything. Today, if NPP government starts something, and 2020, 2024, 28 or whatever year, NPP is not in power, it is not continuing. But in America, that is not how it is. And you know, they don't just believe in it. They say it and they act it. You go back and listen to the speeches by the Republican president. It followed the same trend. You listen to the speeches of Obama and all the Democrats, it followed the same trend. The last time I was listening to Obama's speech of 2004, the speech, people describe that speech as the speech that brought him into power. And you listen to the speech and you can relate it directly to Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream, because it is all talking about the American dream. And you listen to his 2008 victory speech, the inaugural speech, and he was even talking about the dream that established America, the fact that Republicans have done this, and we need to recognize them. That is how they are. But in Africa, our system has created that kind of chronism to the extent that if today you are not in power, you are a loser. If you are in power, then you are a winner.
So because we don't really have a leadership culture, and it actually demonizes our action towards development. Almost everybody is bashing Ghana. Actually, from what you say, do you think that we are not doing, what good can you say that Ghana has actually done 60 years on after independence?
Okay, thank you. One thing I know is that Ghanaians, we are lovely people. I'm telling you, if a stranger comes, okay, a tourist comes, a Ghanaian would actually give him the only room he has just to accommodate him maybe for a week or so. As for that, I know Ghanaians, we have that love.
But do we do that for our own Ghanaians as well?
Okay, that's the thing. We value
That's fine.
yeah. Okay, so Ghanaians, so as leaders, what I would say is that we have to identify some of our strong core values. Since primary, what they have taught us: respect, honor your father and your mother, and those basic principles that were taught at the basic level. Let's grow with it. There are some key things that identify us as Ghanaians, which make us unique. So as leaders, even if we should uphold it and teach it to others who don't even see that we have such unique core values. And one thing that I want to add is that Ghana, we have an issue. This is on a negative side, but we have an issue of protocol. Protocol issue. If we are all queuing for watching, let's all queue for watching. There shouldn't be backdoor, come and I'll save you. So as leaders, we have to teach it and practice it. If you are gaining admission to the university with this degree, this number of qualifications, let there be a standard everybody respects. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So now it goes in line. Petrina, what is your conclusion remarks in terms of we creating leaders for Ghana that will change the system for us? I think 30 seconds, since we don't really have much time. Quick one.
I think, first of all, we have to check system of education if we are to bring up leaders for the future?
So education is very important. Thank you very much, Bernard.
Okay, so you see, first of all, think of the impossible. There are certain things that I never thought that I could do, but once you begin to do it, and also the words, as she said, action. There is more results in the action than the words. So
Action more than words.
but this one is words.
Like I even get earlier. Thank you very much. I love
The Ghanaian dream. The
That's
Ghanaian dream. Just think about something that you can do for Ghana.
fine.
The Ghanaian dream.
That's fine. The Ghanaian dream in action. It's not words. Thank you.
Reorient yourself and change your mentality.
Reorient yourself and change your mentality. Great.
I believe we need exceptional leaders with exceptional character and skills. And that must be vested in the culture of our culture, the African culture. To be
Exceptionality, different from what the ordinary Ghanaian is. Like we say, the ordinary Ghanaian on cafe near there. So we just change and then bring the difference in you. Yes, so I think this is where time is probably going to allow us. It's been great interaction here with my beautiful people here. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if you did. It was great. But I don't know if any of you also there has something quickly to add, like in the space of 2 minutes. Short. Yes, there we go. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Those who partook in the YWB program. I had one in Ghana 2015. It was a fantastic program. You enjoyed. But after that year, I didn't hear anything, no connection, nothing. We have just there. I want to ask, you are the current people. Is there any change in the program that they can really, follow up on you and see how you are?
It's really the change in the learning progress as of now. Thank you very much. I believe just kill it for us. And then the gentleman also. Okay, then let's ask all the questions involved. Then the answers can come. Then we end it.
Thank you very much. I have a few questions that in so far time I'll be charitable with the questions. Now, to Bernard and Julius, right? Is there any concerted effort among African countries on the needs and challenges of African youth leaders, and then on making up leaders for tomorrow Ghana? There's this issue I'm very much passionate about, because hearing that there are student leaders from various institutions, right? Now, what do we think the involvement of political parties investing in student affairs? Look at the state of youth. It is attributable to...
Okay, so straight to 2 questions, right? Concerted efforts between African leaders and then also political implication in student leadership. Thank you very much.
Of course, the last one, please. And we often say that we are raising leaders, or we are the leaders, youth are the leaders of tomorrow Africa or tomorrow Ghana. Aren't we being overly ambitious when, in fact, as a nation, we haven't done much to harness the potentials of youth leaders, and we have to, or we always have to rely on YWB, American sponsored.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you. I think we are done, right?
Because of the time, the one about what YWB is doing, I think that we may have to spread on. Please, this association, you are not supposed to participate in YWB, then you are part of this association. You have to be checked, because the embassy follows up on. There was even YWB alumni. Today, as I speak, there was YWB alumni of Ghana. So we can engage you on that. So we spare them from taking another time to answer the question, so we can tackle that off.
Yes, so YWB Alumni Congress started, homecoming started.
No, I think that one, we since almost everybody is fine. So we're just talking about political
I think there is a concerted effort. There is a concerted effort. For example, through some of these programs, we got to network with a lot of young guys from the West Africa South region. So as I'm here, I'm talking with some of my friends from Cameroon, Gambia, Liberia. We have been planning to establish an NGO, you understand? So those are some of the things that young leaders must do. And on political
let's handle the political infiltration, since he's a student leader.
Okay, so that one is something that we can talk about all day, because you can't really say you are taking them out of it, because these people, this is Ghana. Each and every person sitting here may have a political affection, one way or the other. So, is it a crime seeking advice or seeking financial support from a leader or maybe an uncle who also happens to have that same political affection. But on the other hand, is he seeking this kind of political favor from that person? You know, it's politics. There is always an ulterior thing. You see, that self-element in it. So we can't take it out, but the government can, or there is some way that you can control it, but you can't take it out.
You did not tell us the way in which you wanted to control, but that's exactly what we want to know. But I believe that we can control it by moving away from them. Let's do our student leadership. Let's also do their national political stuff, and then when we get there, I think we can work together. So there's a lot of hands, but we don't really have much time. If you permit me, so that we can progress and then do other things that's good for our lunch as well. So thank you so very much. Thank you, and thank you very much, our panel members, for the time and the experience. So,